What's good, sports gamers? NBA Live 19 is a good game. I like it. You can nutmeg people, that's what's up, but there's some stuff I feel once Live adds into the game, it can take them to the next level. So here's our top 5 changes for NBA Live 20. First off, we need roster sharing and more control over our rosters in general. When Live 18 dropped and they didn't have the ability to edit rosters, I was a bit disappointed. But to my surprise, during the year they added it via a patch, so I felt they were going in the right direction as far as roster creation goes. Then when 19 dropped, you could edit rosters at launch, good. But they're sadly missing one huge feature to fully take advantage of our ability to edit our own rosters, and that's roster sharing. Roster sharing can really come in clutch. Instead of waiting for when Live finally does decide to update the rosters, we can simply hop into the roster share section and grab the latest roster from the people who can get it to us almost instantly. Especially for my peoples who don't feel like it or want to do it themselves. Say we get an updated roster from the Live devs and James Harden gets traded to the Sixers or something a few hours later. Now we have to wait a few days most likely, instead of just hopping into the roster share and grabbing old boy or girl's updated roster with that change on it, and having only the head-to-head online people waiting. Live 19 reminds me of when I had MVP Baseball 04 and I would customize my ratings in players, pitches, speeds, and all that good stuff. And then post them in the MVP Baseball forum on the EA site to share with others because roster sharing obviously wasn't a thing back then. Take the NBA draft this past month. What if somebody has a hot Zion Williamson creative player? Sure, they can post it on YouTube and get a lot of views, but not everybody is going to log on to see that. And when they try to create Zion, he ends up looking like some random dark-skinned dude. Or they don't have them in the rookie class at all because they're not going to make it themselves. Roster sharing has become a standard in sports games, especially during the off-season when player movement is at its highest, and Live is missing out big time. The EA Sports brother Madden has had it for years, and it's been clutch for me so many times. And their rival 2K has it, and I rely on that community a lot to drop nice rosters for me to use as well. Live? Either on your own to make it happen or wait for an official update. And if you want to play with the drafted players, either again do it yourself or wait for the next game. And the editing process itself has got to get better. We are given the ability to edit tendencies to our players in 2K, which then affects their simulation stats. So we are able to tweak certain guys so they're not putting up stupid numbers, Just having that will go a long way into NBA Live's franchise simulation stats problem. Now let's talk about franchise mode, just learning the basics. Now I've gone over the warts Live's franchise mode has had the past 2 years on a few videos, and the minimal improvement that has been seen to it. But I feel instead of going for gold and them trying and me expecting everything in 1 year, they need a host of basic essentials you should expect for any sports franchise mode in there ASAP. Let's talk about the fact that you can't control all 30 teams. You are already removing this simulate games guy who ends up in year 30 with all made up players. And then he sees my league over on 2K and the fact you can go a billion season over there with all 30 teams. What do you think he's going to pick? Just having the ability to control every team is a crucial first step for many reasons. Next, I'll be quick on this, but the statistics just have to border on realistic. No Rudy Gobert pulling prime Shaq numbers out here. But majority of stuff where I can say, okay, I can see him averaging that. As of right now, they're far from that. And this issue pulls simulate seasons, look at stats guy even further away. And they have to get better at the draft experience. Better lead up to it, better scouting. NHL introduced a new scouting system in 19 that I love. Steal that. Do something to give the draft some life. In 19, having a franchise mode as empty as this should be a deal breaker, and I think with Live it is. Sure, the one mode is an amazingly deep mode, and you can tell the amount of time and effort a team put into it. But it appears to be at the detriment of franchise mode. Like I said, they're not going to nail everything 2K has in one swoop. That would be nice though. But the ability to relocate, create jerseys and stuff will come with time, or are they fine with franchise mode as is? Now let's just say the commentary team isn't the complete worst thing in the game, but it needs work. When I heard that Live would be getting a new commentary team, I was excited because anything is better than Jeff Van Gundy. But what Live ended up having was a subtle step in the right direction. Jay Williams ended up being a solid okay, while Ed Cohen out of nowhere delivery of action happening on the court, and robotic tone didn't give me as hype for plays as I should have been. Too much dead air at times, and both were guilty of not bringing that special you were wanting key moments and plays. Man, I think they did an awesome job grabbing Gowden and Davis for that commentary, and I think Live is still finding theirs. The ability to update lines throughout the season, at least for me, was seen as a chance to save the commentary team, opposed to when Madden did it, they only improved on an already good aspect of the game. Next is the expansion of the women's career mode. NBA Live took a major step forward in Live 18, adding the WNBA to the game, but it was pretty bare bones and you can only play them and play now. But Live 19 stepped things up a notch, allowing us to make a female creative player in the one mode and ball against men and women alike. But there was something that was missing that you noticed in the creative player menu, and that was being able to take your female player to the league. Being able to ball with your character in the streets is nice, but there needs to be the option to take your female character to the league just like you can with the men. They've made noticeable strides on the women's side the last 2 years, so I won't be surprised if this is an option at 20. I would also assume if we are able to take our female character to the league next game, there will also be a separate WNBA franchise mode we could start up. If NBA 2K20's first year of having the WNBA in their game beats Live to the punch of having the WNBA mode, that would hurt considering Live jumped in that pool first. And lastly, you never can have enough stats. Now this is something most noticeable when you go into franchise mode, of course. But with Live's bare bones franchise, the lack of stat overlays is amplified by 100. Sure, we get the basic points, shooting numbers and stuff, but I want to know if I got a player hot, what are his stats versus the opponent to show me how much I'm dominating? Or if Embiid got 35 at the half, show me his stats versus the whole Mavericks frontcourt like 2K does. His numbers this past month, where he's at in the leaderboards on the year, where's the standings update after timeout breaks. I want to be bombarded with stats, especially in franchise mode. It gives the more richness showing me what's up with the league as a whole. When you got 45 on somebody, you probably already know you're beating them down, but then a little scroll at the bottom of some relevance to that, saying you're 12 of your last 13 or something, be having you like, that's right, I'm dominating this dude. There's almost zero immersion because of the lack of this. They can even make up their own stats like bronze points per game on a Thursday when he wears a headband or something. Okay, I'm kidding. Even historical stuff. I love stats from years past. You can insert them in during the games, like show what the team's record was at this time last year, what their points per game was, where they were in the standings, or show the players' differences in stats from the previous years as well. It's important to let the gamer know that this is a living world. And I don't want to never be reminded of past year's happenings just because we are in the new season. This could also be where you add to the draft immersion of talking about a prospect and show his stats on the screen or something. That would be cool. Or even maybe the projected mock draft at that point with the draft classes, players, and their stats on the side. There's so much they can do with this. Madden isn't really huge on all the stat overlays during games and franchise mode, so I won't get my hopes up. But since NBA 2K is, I know they will feel some pressure. Not gonna lie though, with Live basically going where's Waldo and the Twitter account has said one word about Live 20, I'm not sure if it's even coming out yet. We have seen the mocap stuff and all that, but I'm getting worried even 2K has dropped some stuff recently. But besides that, I want them to succeed, man. They're definitely behind the 8 ball of 2K, but like I said, if they just go slow and steady, people will recognize that and start to regain the following they once had with NBA Live 02, 2003, 4, back then, you know? If they simply add a WNBA franchise mode, I will play that. Their seasons are short, I know more than one player, I'll dig it. And I'm sure WNBA fans would too. The danger of 2K beating them to the punch is real though. Wouldn't it be sad if 2K adds a WNBA mode and it's as deep as Live's franchise mode? I mean, let's not act like that would be a tall feat. Roster sharing also has to be in the next game. I would be shocked if it's not. It's 2019. But yeah, I like an underdog story and I can't hate on the approach Live is taking so far. We're focusing on the one and giving the people who don't want to super grind or pay for their player a basketball game to play. But now it's time to make sure all the other stuff is in order. Franchise mode has been neglected enough. But what do you guys think? What's a feature you want to see added into Live 20 that you will be extremely happy with? Let us know in the comments down below. And stay tuned here at Sports Gamers Online for more NBA Live 20 content. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And once you're with us, hit that bell icon at the bottom so you don't miss anything we put out. And you can check out some of our NBA Live 20 videos on the channel. One about his potential cover athlete and my reasons why you should not worry about the lack of press for NBA Live 20 up to this point. Also hit me up on Twitter, SGO_Chris. Sorry people, I'm Chris. Thank y'all for watching and be good y'all.
Like that afterwards. To Jokic. Here comes the screen. To Millsap. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. And Paul Millsap knocks it down even with a hand in his face.
Every hero needs a good sidekick. Nice find to set up a three.
To Favors.